Good Thursday afternoon, everybody. Today is July 28th, 2021, and this is episode 117 of Sportstalk. My name is Rahim Escalade. Hope everybody's out there is doing well and enjoying the day. Today, for this episode, I have for you some news. The NFL and I continue on with grading the offensive lines. Where's the first? I've got some Major League Baseball scores, and I've also got some stuff from the Olympics. So without further ado, let's get right into this. Episode. Anyway, so we will get right into the news. What do we have for you? Let me check the time. Currently, it is 4:35 p.m. Eastern, and in a little bit less than 3.5 hours, we will have the NBA draft. And my boy, Cade Cunningham, leads the, my boy Cade Cunningham is the one who's going to be the number one overall pick. He leads my, as far as how my draft board is going to look, in which we'll get that other episode to you as well. Later on this evening. I have a special draft show coming up after this episode, but anyway, I think Cade Cunningham's going to go number one to the Detroit Pistons, and it's rebuild time, so let's hope Detroit's got it in them. Anyway, the Washington Nationals game, as you know, second day in a row, has been postponed due to COVID. There was 12 positive cases today, and I think 8 yesterday, or 18 yesterday and 12 today. Either way, way too many to play a game. And here at 403 Sports Talk, I wish everybody the very best with whatever they're handling medically. And I hope the vaccine gets in those players' arms and everybody's fine. Now, you've heard the term, the rich keep getting richer, right? Well, that's what's happening up in New York. New York Yankees are finalizing a deal to land slugger Joey Gallo in the Bronx. Now, this is significant to me because Joey Gallo is one of the best hitters in the game. He's having one of the best seasons that anybody's had this year. So to put him on a franchise like that, it already has guys such as Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, you name it, and whoever. It's just a list of stars. You know the history behind that franchise, and for them to get richer by getting a Joey Gallo is ridiculous, to say the least. But congrats to them. The Big 12 Conference in NCAA football alleges that ESPN tried to destabilize the league. How'd they try to destabilize the league? Well, playing up all the SEC schools and how good they are, and just the fashion that they reported on Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC. And I think in the way that they reported that is kind of why the Big 12 was pissed, and I'd be pissed too. It's two of the biggest schools. Imagine the revenue that the Big 12 is losing for that. You know? Just sit back and think if you're the Big 12's commissioner. When you don't make numbers in business, you get fired. You get left out. And that's what happened. And the Carolina Hurricanes signed controversial veteran and one of my favorite defensemen ever, Tony DeAngelo. Now, you remember Tony DeAngelo as being a very rough guy. Played for the Sharks back in the day. Sharks out of San Jose. And he's just real gritty, real gutsy, all-out dirty player. But he was good. And the Carolina Hurricanes are going to give him a chance, you know, given that he solved all his off the ice bullshit. And finally, the Colts, who have one of the best offensive lines in the National Football League. Hint, we're going to talk about that today. They just keep getting better on that offensive line as they extend Braden Smith for 4 years and $72 million. There goes the news. Now let's move on to Major League Baseball. This is not a video game. My son wasn't playing the show, but this is a real score. Detroit 17, Minnesota 14. Cleveland Indians will be the Guardians at the end of the season 7, St. Louis Cardinals 2. The Toronto Blue Jays beat the Boston Red Sox 4-1. Houston Astros over Seattle Mariners 11-4. Oakland over San Diego 10-4. In 10 innings, the Yankees were finally allowed to put Tampa Bay away, but it was by a score of 3-1. Milwaukee 7, Pittsburgh 3. Again, as I had mentioned before, the Washington Nationals game and the Philadelphia Phillies was yet again postponed. Mets over the Braves 2-1, and Cincy beats the Cubs 8-2. There go your scores for the Major League Baseball, everybody. Moving on to the Olympics. In Batman's basketball, Slovenia smokes Japan 116-81. Our Dallas Maverick Luka Doncic scores 25 points with 5 rebounds and 7 assists. And also Spain beat Argentina 81-71. Moving on to swimming in the 100-meter freestyle for the men. My boy Caleb Dressel came in first place and grabbed the gold for that event. Closely followed by Great Britain's Kyle Chambers, and third place was Russia's Kilment Kolesinov. I didn't butcher that one. Also in the men's 800-meter freestyle. Well, that was the men's 800-meter freestyle. I'm sorry. And in tennis, Paul Carreño Busta defeated my boy. Darn, man. This was hard. It's my favorite tennis player right now. Daniel Medvedev. The big lanky guy. He hits anything. He almost got overheated in the last match. And was complaining about the heat. But it's like the heat got to you, bro. And Jokic defeated Carl Nishikori 6-6. Sorry if I butchered that one. And those are your scores for the Olympics. In the Gold Cup tonight, Qatar plays USA at 7:30, and Mexico and Canada go at it at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Now, moving on to a couple little tidbits I got for you guys. The NBA draft is at 8 o'clock p.m. tonight. Cade Cunningham, Oklahoma State Cowboys is expected to go first. Now I haven't really finished my sheet as far as NBA stuff. You know, I'm saving that for our next show, which should come out in a couple hours. I'll have my trades and stuff like that, my final mock for this whole NBA thing, but I will release that to you guys before the draft comes on. And not too many people take notes of stuff like this, but there's been a consistent influx of foreign players from Europe, different countries and nations into the NBA, and over the years it's increased. And I really want to point out to basketball and how serious the game is and how impactful it is to and how impactful how impactful the game is on young men and young women and just how it's spreading. So within the top 15 picks, there are 4 international players whom are expected to go. Who are they? You're just going to have to tune into my NBA draft show to find out. Anyway, now moving on to our final piece of the show. This is one of my favorite things to talk about, of course. Football. This is from worst to first, and for those of you who are just now tuning in, worst to first is how I've rated all the offensive lines in the NFL, based upon stats from last year, injuries, stuff like that, and just a little bit of predictions, and just what I think is going to happen regardless of what might actually happen. So let's start. We're on number 12, the New Orleans Saints. Projected starters down in New Orleans are Teron Armstead. Top 10 guy, if you remember my offensive I went through in a different episode. Eric McCoy, Andrews Peaks, Cesar Ruiz, who's going to line up to play center, and Ryan Ramczyk, another top 10 tackle who was just paid handsomely, 5 years, $94 million extension. Shout out to Mr. Ramczyk for that one. Good job. Glad to see you got paid. So here's my take on the Saints offensive line situation. So the way I look at the Saints O-line is like this. Drew Brees got the ball off his hand in 2.8 seconds during his career. In other words, there is a little room for error, and this group bleeds that. Now, what I mean little room for error, the pass block, when I'm talking about pass block win rate and how often defenders can beat these linemen for sacks. And the number for every Saints player is most definitely higher than, I'd say, the average, which is about 56%. The New Orleans Saints come in at around 60%. So 60% of the time in which you blitz Drew Brees, you are not getting it. That's fucking sick to think about. And I feel bad for those guys, Sheldon Richardson, Cam Jordan. You know what I mean? Who were those guys playing against that offensive line in practice. But anyway, so there's a little room for margin of error. The Saints got one of the best lines in football, and let's move on to the next team. Number 11, New England Patriots. What's up, Patriots fans? I know you guys are happy I'm finally bringing your team up. You guys are in my top 15 if you crack the top 10, but you have a great offensive line. Who I think is going to start for the New England Patriots? Michael Onwenu, Shaq Mason, Trent Brown, Isaiah Wynn, and David Andrews. The last 4 names I mentioned are definitely guys who have seen the all-pro level, and who I think might this year see that again as well. Here's my take on the Pats. You see all the upside. I know it. You guys are Patriots fans. You see it. I see it. I'm not a Patriots fan though. Anyway, you see it. Shaq Mason and Trent Brown have been on the top 10 list at their respective positions in the past, and Trent Brown was on my list last year. I don't know about Shaq Mason because I thought he was hurt. Anyway, this Patriots offensive line is poised to do great things. It's just who are they protected, and when is Mac and Cheese going to get his chance to start? Those are answers I really need. But I think they're going to give the reins to Cam. I think Cam's going to win it, and maybe we'll see Mac and Cheese next year. Number 10, the Houston Texans. What? Did I just say the Houston Texans? Yes, I did. Hear me out. Right? Their projected starters, former Green Bay Packer Lane Taylor, who can be interchangeable, could come to the guard or to the tackle spot to stand out there and protect the quarterback. Titus Howard, he's all right. Justin Britt, Max Sharping, and Laramie Tunsil, who they gave up everything for. It's why Deshaun hasn't had much help. Don't understand why he's going to try to miss this season, but offensive line. What others might view, this franchise is headed nowhere fast. I'll tell you how incorrect that is. This is the strongest unit the team has, and you have to hope so, as they mortgage lots to initially get Tunsil. Laramie Tunsil and Titus Howard need to play like it was the 2019 season. It's so weird, like I said, you need a supporting cast to score, but honestly, this is the Houston Texans' bread and butter, this offensive line. And I think that nothing can help a franchise turn itself upside down than getting the line right. And, that's where it starts. It starts in the trenches. Houston will be a winning team again. I just don't think it's with Deshaun Watson at the helm. And I think that is going to show pretty soon, honestly. And now for the number 9 team on my list, we had the Indianapolis Colts. Told you we were going to talk about the Colts. Told you. Let's go. So the projected starters are former Kansas City Chief Eric Fisher, the best guard in the NFL, Quentin Nelson. We have another great guard, Ryan Kelly, and my boy Braden Smith, who just got extended for 4 years and $72 million. One of the best lines in football, honestly. Now it's time for us to see what's going to happen out there. I have a feeling, honestly, that the Colts are going to go to playoffs. I think there's no argument there, and I think even if you can think about that, you can say that to yourself. Colts will go to the playoffs, as long as the line stays healthy, and as long as Carson Wentz can play like an actual MVP. I think that is the key to the Colts having a great year, and that looks like that's about it. This was 413 Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Raheem Escalade. Please do not forget to make sure to tune in tomorrow morning, and I promise this episode will be out tomorrow morning, in which we sit down and we react to the NBA draft, and we finish up this from worst to first. I've got... What do we do? 12, 11, 10, 9. So we got 8, 7, 6, and 5 tomorrow. So make sure you turn into that. Tomorrow is July 30th, 2021. A big shout out to my baby girl, Dear Serenity. Happy birthday, baby. It's coming tomorrow. I love you so much. And you're my everything. I love you. And hopefully you have a great birthday, Mira. Bye, everybody. This is 413 Sports Talk.